I just want to talk about my mum. The thing is that I realised that she just she was just such an exceptionally good person, you know. And the thing was is that when we when we look back at our parents, I was saying it in my other video, we look back at our parents and we say like, oh, they did this, they did that, they did this, they did that, and it's like, oh, they're bad parents. No, I have to talk about my mother right now, so that when I do talk in the future about her, I don't want anybody to get this wrong. My mother was a sorry, my mother was such a beautiful person. Like, she was so beautiful. And, you know, I'm probably the amount of time the amount that my mother tried, the amount the amount of like trying and giving to others, I probably am 10% of that. She was just exceptional. If someone had to win an award for trying, she would get the Oscar. She never, and plus, just remember, she never gave up. You never heard her say a bad word. I never. She just kept going. But what I want to point out is that my mother was not given much at all to work with, at all. She was, I mean, the things that happened to my mother, I mean, you could write 5 books. It was just 5 separate, maybe 10 separate books on 50 separate different subjects. She pretty much had Hollywood movies made, in actual her life, of so many different things that happened. She never gave up on them. Never ever gave up on them. And so, just want to say, when I'm talking about my mum, sometimes we went through some really bad stuff. But my mother was exceptional, and I really mean this. When I still remember being a young kid, under 2, 3, and people go like, "You can't remember that." Yes, I can. I remember my mother being so innocent and beautiful. She just waited for my father to get home, and she was learning different different kind of foods to cook for dinner. But I still remember, like, it's really under 2, but I still remember sitting in my bedroom. I still remember Mum and Dad, putting the wallpaper up. We had pink bedspreads, a Peter Pan wallpaper that they had put up. And my mother, I still remember my mother sitting there where I was sitting next to my bed, and I'm playing, and I hear my dad say, "Oh, Julie, we don't need this. We don't need this." And she's like, "Oh, Alan, and this is, oh, we do, the kids really, I'll read a book every day." And when it was over, and he went, "Oh," and he gave in to her. The thing is, when it was over, it was a Golden Books collection series thing. It was like the books were like this thick, and you bought the whole thing. It was very expensive at the time, and I remember thinking, "Wow, these books are amazing!" And you got the actual, book covered with it. And I remember Mum sitting there and just like looking at them. She was creating a life that she never had for us. But then, as I said, my father, as I said, and I'll talk about my father later on, but my father actually they were only very young when my mother would have been 20 when she's sitting there on that ground, and my dad would have been, what, 24, 23, something like that. And they were very young, and then came the affairs, and it's like a movie how the Peter Pan wallpaper just like scrolls off the wall. Everything went, everything went, all my mum's dreams, and all the things that came after that were just, horrific for her. But she never gave up. To the day she died, she never gave up. And she was an exceptional person, just so beautiful. And I just want to mention that. So when I talk about like other things, you got to realize my mother, she she could polish anything and make something out of it. You know, they say, give me lemons, I'll give you lemonade. It's a joke what she could give you. And at the same time, you know, there's things in my life where she could not cope and things happened. You know what I mean? But she, as I said to you, absolutely incredible woman. So for us to get out of the life we had, you know, after 2 and 3, you know, she never gave up. So as I said, getting back, when I do talk about my mum, it's all my life. It's not that my mother or father were bad people. They were beautiful people. We're all beautiful people, but it's how we get molded through our situations. Some people become bitter and ugly. My mother never became bitter and ugly. My father should have, like, the amount of wrong things he did as an exceptional, loving, beautiful person, but the amount of damage he did to someone, it was horrific. But he still was a beautiful person too, with a lot of pain from his past. So yeah, so I'm just giving you a heads up of, like, yeah, in the future when I talk about my parents, I love them so much, and they were so loving and kind to me, and at the same time, such horrific things happen. But you know, this is the life this is the life I'm talking about, and I'm going to be giving some advice on life. And I want you to know, while I'm giving that advice, I'm not putting my parents down. I'm not putting one person down. I'm just giving advice. So you might think it's being put down, but it's not, because I thought they were the most amazing people in the world.